Hey everybody, welcome back to the Lone Star Mopar shop. What we're going to be doing today, as you can see, is take a look at the Turtle Wax Ice Clay Kit. If you're up really late at night, this actually launched several years ago. They actually introduced the entire ice line. Prior to that, it was their Formula 21 or F21, as you see it now on the store shelves. Ice is a significant step up. It's kind of evidenced by the fact they've got a clay kit. If you're unfamiliar, you've probably heard of a clay bar. Perhaps you haven't done it to your vehicle. Essentially, when you go in and wash and wax your car, that's fine and dandy, gets the dirt off, puts a shine on it, the water will bead if you get rained on, so on and so forth. If you put your, people that pet cars, it really drives me crazy. I mean, I don't even touch my own car. When someone else does it, it really bothers me. Nonetheless, take the back of your hand, run it across the fender, the hood. You're going to feel rough spots. If you just had your car, repainted and they did a good job, I mean, they're going to have everything smooth. A good paint job, a lot of people say it's like glass. Well, glass doesn't have a rough texture to it, or at least it shouldn't. Paint is the same way. Over time, and this isn't from driving off-road, it's not from a lack of taking care of your car, it just happens. You get a little tree sap here and there, you get some stuff from the road. Just airborne contaminants. That's kind of what happens to me. Depending where you live, it's going to cycle depending on the region, the, climate, the weather conditions for the, immediate short term. But what a clay bar does is it takes all that off and it actually brings it back, to the smooth finish. And again, Turtle Wax Ice should be available any parts store. You can order it online. Local AutoZone, O'Reilly's will probably have it. But anyway, what's nice about this, Mother's, Meguiar's are all probably going to have a kit. You get a 100-gram clay bar, 16 fluid ounces of clay bar lubricant, which is important, and 16 fluid ounces of liquid clay. At the risk of boring people, the liquid clay in this case, a lot of people probably wonder what that is. Note that a flat blade does not make a good knife, if you weren't aware. Right here is your liquid clay. So this is going to be step one, the ice liquid clay. Obviously, before you use this, you want to wash the vehicle. Don't just go and hit this with bugs all over your vehicle and dirt and rain from the last 2 times. If you note, and you think it looks like a pretty cool bottle, these are actually striations. You essentially have white, blue, and white. What this top section is, it is actually going to be a stain remover. The middle section is just essentially a car wash concentrate. And then this bottom thicker layer is actually going to be a clay bar compound. You do want to shake it up. You can kind of see how it mixes. But what you do here, you wash your vehicle and then you come in. It's kind of set up, can't really see the spray here, but when you squeeze this, that's a very narrow diameter opening, so you can actually jet the fluid out, and it actually works pretty nicely. And what you want to do is just put it on. They say 2x2. I just do one body part at a time, essentially the hood, the trunk, fenders, door, quarter panel. That's the way I've always done it. It works for me. But you just spray this on and go back and forth with a microfiber towel, and then you just rinse it off with water. So basically it's almost like washing your car twice. You don't actually have to do this, but it comes with the kit, so if you're going to take the time to clay bar, why not? And again, that's something that really sets the Turtle Wax Ice apart, and you're essentially paying the same price. Granted, some kits will give you more clay, but the 3 times I've actually used it, I've had great results, going with step 1. Obviously, what you care about here is the clay. Like I said, this is a 100-gram bar, which is actually pretty generous. You can compare that to some of the tube kits with 2 bars out there. Generally equates to about the same amount of clay, but again, depending on what you're doing, this bar will do a truck. Ram 1500 I did the other day was absolutely obliterating this clay bar. older car with a vinyl roof like the Charger, I mean, I could probably cut this in half and been just fine and get 2 uses out of it. If you do have anything left over, you're going to go on, you feel like the clay bar is clean enough, make sure you keep it in a clean, sealed container to kind of keep the moisture in it. You don't have a lot of time with it. You're looking at about $18 for this. My advice, if you're going to do multiple vehicles, pick up multiple kits. Or you can stretch and save your money, obviously, is with the step one. I mean, that's going to last you a while. In all honesty, you could probably do that as maintenance in between, times that you do clay bar. Step two here is the clay bar lubricant. Whenever you go to clay bar your vehicle, you don't just slide the clay across the paint. That's not going to work. I mean, in theory it would, but you'd create a mess and possibly damage your finish. Just like when you wet sand, obviously you need wet. You've got to have water there. Otherwise it's not going to work. The clay bar lubricant, basically provides an insulating base. This is really essentially just a spray detail. Very good one at that. But you wet your body panels down with the clay bar lubricant and then slide the clay back and forth. Note, you don't use circular motions. We're trying to eliminate swirl marks. High-end polishes, Zano, they're all going to tell you the same. Use back and forth motion. That's something you might want to pick up on. But again, it's straightforward. It's nice that you've got it in the spray bottle. And again, if you do a small car, a Duster or something to that effect, or an old car with a vinyl roof, you can probably get 2 uses out of this, if not more. For a truck, like my 4-wheel drive Ram, you literally use every bit of this, particularly if you've never clayed your car before. If you do this regularly, the less you're going to use, the cleaner the clay will remain. But you spray that, you wipe it down with the clay bar, and you essentially just repeat until you can't feel drag. The first time you slide this clay across your body panel, you'll start to feel resistance when you have it in your hand. And everywhere it drags, that's actually meaning that there's a contaminant, something in the paint that the clay bar is picking up. So when you get to a point that you've gone back and forth several times with your clay bar, you will notice that the clay bar now can actually just slide smoothly. If you leave it, for example, the Ram's kind of got a slope to the hood, you could put it about the apex and the clay bar will just kind of slowly glide and then pick up speed down. That's when you know you've done a good job. Obviously, when the surface gets dirty, you're going to want to knead the clay bar. You can flip it over, you can cut it in half, you can fold it and knead it out. Whatever works for you, just try to have a clean surface. And that's really all there is to it. And like I said, this is actually one of the better kits. It's readily available. I've used it on a 69 Charger, a 72 Cuda for a customer, and then a 2001 Ram, which was a nightmare on clay. In all honesty, if you do it once a year, you're doing great. Doesn't have to be that often. Just, like I say, put your hand in a plastic bag, as dumb as it sounds. Run it across the exterior surface, you should be fine. Anytime you feel resistance, you might think about clay bar in your car. And again, if you want to do that, you'll be out roughly with tax under $20 for something like the Turtle Wax Ice Clay Kit. And again, you get a 100-gram clay bar, which is very nice and good quality, believe it or not. You get the clay bar lubricant, which is again very important. You don't want to scratch your paint, or put swirls into it when you're trying to remove them. And then of course, an added bonus with the Turtle Wax kit is this kind of secondary wash, if you will, which, like I say, I think it is really good for brake dust, road grime, bugs, tar, that sort of thing. It really loosens it up and removes some, and then what's left, the clay bar makes very quick work of. But like I said, I do use this myself. I've had great luck with it. Best thing about it, it's readily available, and as I mentioned, it comes with the lube. You don't actually have to go in and mix the concentrate, dilute it as you would with Zano or other high-end deal. But if you have questions or comments, feel free to ask. Here on YouTube, you can also be sure to check us out on the forum. It is www.lonestarmopars.com. You can find the links to that in the front page. Thanks for watching, and we will be back with more videos to help you out.